President Biden on Monday issued his first veto since taking office, rejecting a bill that would have reversed the Labor Department role in environmental, social, and governance investing. I just vetoed my first bill, Biden said in a tweet announcing the move. This bill would risk your retirement savings by making it illegal to consider risk factors MAGA House Republicans don't like. Your plan manager should be able to protect your hard earned savings, whether Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene likes it or not, he added, referring to the Republican Congresswoman from Georgia. The Biden administration had previously issued a rule stating that money managers can weigh climate change and other ESG factors when they make decisions for retirement investments on behalf of clients. If replaced, a rule from the era of former President Trump that the Biden administration said discouraged consideration of ESG factors, even in cases where it is in the financial interest of plans to take such considerations into account. The GOP controlled House had passed a bill to undo the Biden rule, and the Senate voted Wednesday to send the bill to Biden's desk in a 50 to 46 vote. Two Senate Democrats, Senators Joe Manchin and John Tester, joined Republicans in opposing that Biden administration policy, saying they felt it was a case of government overreach that would impose a policy agenda on Americans' retirement accounts. The White House had previously said Biden would veto the legislation if it passed Congress. In a statement of administration policy, the White House noted the rule was not a mandate but is intended to ensure retirement plan managers recognize that factors related to ESG can be relevant in analyzing investment decisions. The president vetoed the bill because it jeopardizes the hard-earned life savings of cops, firefighters, teachers, and other workers, all in service of an extreme MAGA Republican ideology. White House spokesperson Robin Patterson said in a statement, Congress is unlikely to be able to override Biden's veto as it requires the support of two-thirds of both chambers. The legislation and Biden's subsequent veto is part of a larger debate over ESG investing. Opposition to the practice has become a point of emphasis for many conservatives who view it as part of a broader woke agenda among Democrats that infringes on Americans' rights to make their own decisions. This veto by President Biden goes directly against the interests of the American people and once again creates an illegal loophole for companies like BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard to exploit politics over profits with American pension dollars, said Will Hild, Executive Director of Consumers Reach, a group that has led opposition to ESG policies. It is disappointing to see this administration use hardworking Americans' retirements to further progressive politics than ensure Americans are financially secure, Hild said. Supporters of ESG investments say that following these principles allows people to make money, have a positive impact on the world around them, and avoid some financial risk caused by climate change. Banks, investment firms, and money managers also say consumer demand for ESG investment offerings grew steadily over the past few years. Today, President Biden used his first veto to reject a bipartisan majority consensus in the House and Senate that Americans' retirement savings should be invested to get the best return, not support a political agenda. Senator Mike Braun, a lead author on the bill that was vetoed, said in a statement accusing Biden of doubling down on prioritizing a progressive agenda over Americans' retirements and the will of Congress. Okay, before we even dissect this, just because something is supported by both parties, and this is a problem I've had with a lot of characterizations of things, does not mean it's good. The Iraq War was supported by both parties. The Patriot Act was supported by both parties. It's just a really ridiculous notion that somehow because you get like 2-3 Democrats to back your opposition to Biden's proposal that like this means you are automatically in the right. Oh, we have bipartisan support. By the way, Manchin's statement on this warrants a whole separate video because of how unhinged it is, and he just sounds more and more right wing as time goes on. So I really can't see where allowing money managers to weigh climate change and these other factors hurts retirement plans. It's kind of strange. They say that he's put it like, and I really hate that they characterize every single policy proposal that they disagree with as woke, because climate change is something that we know they like to ignore. But the environment plays a big part in, retirement. I mean, some people may not want to live in a place where in 5 years um, it's going to have a bunch of gas or, be uninhabitable as a result of just any kind of change to the environment. And it's so confusing to me that the characterization of it as, oh, this is he's trying to use his progressive agenda to mess with people's retirement. How? What is why? Because he wants to weigh the effects of the environment on this. And clearly, this is something that has support. I mean, the article mentions that over the last, like in recent time, so I don't, maybe it's been a few years or, even before that, um, that this is something that people are apparently considering when, they go into retirement. So I guess there's something woke about trying to make a positive impact on the world while making money. um, and look, banks, investment firms, and money managers are certainly not people that I would say are part of the progressive agenda. We've already talked about Wells Fargo. What was that, 5 or 6 years ago, firing 5,000 people back to back? So they're not progressive in any utterance of the word. But when you consider that even they're admitting that consumer demand for ESG investment offerings have grown over the years, well, what does that tell you? It tells you that this is a fairly moderate proposal to where that's why most of the Democrats in the Senate who are moderate voted for this. And the opposition to it is all part of this anti-regulation, climate change denying, nebulous term using ridiculousness that a lot of Republicans in Congress like to deploy. So instead of explaining to me or to us why it's wrong to want to make an investment, make money, while also putting that into areas that assist or help the environment, we're just going to be told this is part of a progressive agenda. We're playing politics and we're woke. They can never just tell you, hey, why is this not a good idea? We're in the era of terms getting thrown around with no meaning.